Hello everybody who's watching this and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tag video. I actually got this idea from Flirty Force here on YouTube. I didn't watch her videos for a while and then recently I just went on a Flirty Force binge. I just watched so many of her videos and one of the videos that I saw that really caught my attention was the test of time tag that she did way back in August that I somehow missed. This point of her video was to basically show products that she has been loving for years, things that have consistently stayed on her I like this and I love this list, you know? So I decided to create something pretty much the carbon copy of that, but basically put my own products in and show you what I have been liking for years. So first things first, I have some foundations. These are the Maybelline Fit Me Foundations, and I can tell you, definitely, if you look back on my channel, well, not on my channel, if you look back in my channel and you look at all my old videos and you see like my tutorials, which are pretty awful, by the way, these were the foundations I was probably using in those videos, and I pretty much have been wearing these foundations for years. So this is basically two different shades of the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I can rave about this foundation all day. It makes my skin look amazing. It's not too drying and it's not too oily, which means that it works for so many different skin types. If you have super oily skin, what I used to do is I used to set it with a powder. It works pretty well that way, but in general, if you're looking for like foundations from the drugstore that are fail-safe, that will work for you, these are amazing. And I've been wearing them for years. I wore them when I first started wearing foundation and I have not looked back since. It's not these are not the original bottles that I had. I've gone through like 5 of them, but these are some new ones. So of course, after foundation, you need powder. My favorite powder that I have been wearing for years, non-stop, has been the Coty Airspun powder. It looks good on my skin. It gives my skin a little bit extra coverage, and what's also nice is that this powder bakes in an amazing way. It doesn't emphasize anything you don't want it to. It does a good job of just smoothing things over. It looks amazing on the skin. So this has definitely stood the test of time for me, and it appears a whole bunch of other people, because it says that this has been around since 1935, which is of course a very long time. But moving on, I have blushes, and honestly, nowadays I don't wear blushes that much, but for the longest time I would wear blushes all the time, and some of my first blushes, like probably the first blush that I got was the Wet n Wild blush, and these are amazing. So this is the old packaging. They used to have like these really inconvenient styles of packaging. They had the product and then they also had this space where they had a brush that was really terrible that I used to always throw away whenever I bought one of these. But this is the new one. And it's a lot better. I think it has a much larger pan size. I mean, it looks a lot better, which is nice considering that this is about $3. But in general, these blushes have been around for ages and I love them. I mean, I have 3 shades. I almost forgot to tell you my shades. I have Pearlescent Pink, which is like the typical like rosy pink tone. It pretty much looks like that. It has a little bit of shimmer in it. I have Mellow Wine, which is like the deeper, slightly more matte version of that other one. And then I have this new one, which is called Apricot in the Middle, which happens to be my favorite shade, but this is what it looks like. So when it comes to bronzer, the bronzer that immediately came to my attention was the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. But when it comes to bronzer, I feel like I've used this for the longest time because it just works. It is a very good quality bronzer. I mean, this is what it looks like. I mean, it looks kind of unassuming, but it is a pretty good bronzer, and it smells like chocolate, and it tastes like chocolate, and I think that everyone got really hooked on that. It has performed so well, and I've used this for ages, and I still continue to love it and adore it and use it all the time. It is a really good bronzer. So this next item is a highlighter. I feel like this was around even before highlighters were a big thing, and I got this highlighter and I loved it. I used to wear this all the time. I used to wear way too much of this and I thought it was an amazing highlight. This is the TheBalm LouManizer, and I mean, I feel like this is such an iconic shade. It really is beautiful and it looks amazing on the skin, and I'm actually wearing it today and you can see that it is a pretty stunning highlighter. I mean, it looks beautiful. They actually have other shades called Cindy Lou and Betty Lou for those of you who have deeper skin tones, which is also nice. And yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a beautiful highlighter. I still use it. It has definitely stood the test of time for me. It is a really good highlighter. And I've used this for years and I have not even hit pan on it. That's how amazing this is. You can just get this and it will last you forever. I can definitely tell you it does. I've worn it for years and I still love it, and I'm not even close to finishing it. I promised myself that I would only pick one product from each category, but you know what, with eyeshadow palettes, I just decided to just break that rule because I love eyeshadow palettes. I have so many of them, I wear them all the time, and I just felt like it was only fair to pick a drugstore option and a high-end version. So this first version, this is the drugstore version, and this is another Wet n Wild product. I swear to God, Wet n Wild was one of the first makeup brands that I was wearing because they're so inexpensive, their stuff is so nice, and it's just so, their stuff is really good quality, and I still use it a lot. So this is a Comfort Zone palette, and if you have not heard of this, then you clearly have not been around for very long, because this is a palette that has been around for forever. It is $5. $5. Just let that soak in. This for $5. I mean, you don't even get that anymore. Makeup has gone up so much in price, but this is still $5, which is nice. And you get 8 shades in here. And what's nice about this is that they have included shades that you need, like a definer color, a medium tone brown, a champagne color, some highlight colors, but they've also put in colors that are kind of like out of your comfort zone, that are meant to provide some variety, such as this color right here, these green tones. And I just feel like if you're looking for a good drugstore palette, this is definitely one of the best. And I've been wearing this for years, and I'm actually wearing this palette today on my eyes right now. I'm wearing this definer color as a defining shade, and I mean, it looks phenomenal. So yeah, these are some of the colors that are swatched, and you can see how beautiful these are. They blend out really nicely, and I can honestly say that the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette was the first palette that I owned, that I loved, that I was obsessed with, because it used to be so inexpensive. It still is, and it's amazing. So yeah, that is my drugstore option. But for my higher end version, oh my god, okay, this is the first palette that I bought with my own money. I saved up my money, my pennies, my dollar bills, and I went to Sephora and I got this palette when it first came out, and I have not looked back since. I have loved this ever since that day. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye palette. This is the old packaging because I bought this palette when it first came out, and I still love it. I mean, look at this. This is like a matte lover's dream. Just look at all these beautiful colors. Very matte shades. If you want a matte palette, this palette is that and more, because you get so many beautiful matte colors. They're all extremely pigmented, very blendable. Quality is so up there, and if you're looking for a good matte palette, this one is definitely one that I've used for years, that I trust, that I still fall back on, and yeah, I mean, I love it. I still remember when I first bought this palette, and when I bought this palette, I actually was saving up for, of course, in cash. And what's funny was that I only had like $1 bills and $5 bills and like I think one $10 bill, and this was like $50. So I walk up to the counter, I'm like, hey, I want to get this palette, and then they scan it and they're like, okay, so that's like $50 or whatever the price was, I don't even remember. And I basically just dumped this huge pile of bills onto that poor woman's cash register desk or whatever, and I remember her eyes went just a little bit wide, like, because like there was because it was pretty much this huge pile of cash that was just all in like ones and fives, and you know what, that was an embarrassing situation, but it was so worth it, because even though there's like this huge queue of people behind me just waiting in line and waiting till these bills could be counted, I had this palette and I was so in love with it. I was so excited about it, and I still love it just as much as the day when I first bought it. So yeah, that's a little story for you. For eyeliners and brows, I feel like these two are items that you probably have already seen. I have barely used anything else since first trying these products. This is a Maybelline Eyestudio gel liner. I use this every single day. And then I also have the Anastasia Dipbrow pomade. Both of these are products that have been around for a few years now and that I tried when they first came out, and I used and I loved, and I think they're amazing. So these two, try them. You will not be disappointed. I almost completely forgot to talk about concealer, and I'm just going to do that real quickly because this is a concealer that I tried and then I just fell in love with. I was wearing this every single day at one point. I loved it. I could not live without it. It was my concealer. So for false lashes, I don't have them with me, but we'll just pretend that these Ardell lashes are the actual Ardell Demi Whispies. But I just want to mention quickly that the Ardell Demi Whispies, probably my oldest lash that I've worn. They were the first pair of lashes that I actually went out and bought and was wearing to performances, and then little by little when I started wearing false lashes more, I wore those lashes all the time. I mean, they're just so comfortable. They work for a variety of looks. You can wear them for a dramatic look or for like a natural look, and what's nice is that they are natural enough so that they look like your natural lashes if you do them right, and I wore them a lot and I still love them. Picking one mascara was also something I had quite a bit of an issue with because I wear mascaras a lot, obviously, and I change them up so much. I'm always saying that, oh yeah, this is my favorite mascara, and then I find something better that I love even more, and it's kind of difficult for me to pinpoint like one mascara that I really love, you know, that I really have been using for years and years. But when I thought about it, I was like, hey, there is one mascara that I've used for years and not put down for too long anyway, and that is the Revlon Lash Potion by Grow Luscious mascara. Specifically, this is the waterproof version, not the normal one, the waterproof, because the normal one kind of sucks in my opinion, but this waterproof version just blew me away when I first got it. Let me explain a little bit. Waterproof mascaras can really be quite useful, so you always need one, but it was always difficult for me to find one that I actually liked because for me, well, my experience is that a lot of waterproof mascaras, you put them on and then they dry and your lashes are so stiff. I mean, I felt like waterproof mascaras were really weighing my lashes down. They felt uncomfortable. I felt like if I touched my lashes, they would snap in half. It just wasn't a nice experience until I tried this. I believe I've been wearing this mascara since 2013. That's when Flirty Force did a blog post on it, and I was always following her blog back then, and I was like, hey, that is a mascara that I want, and I bought it and I was so happy with it, and yeah, I still love it. And it has been like 4 years since I first tried this mascara. Still love it, still use it, still recommend it. So the last thing that I want to talk about are lip colors, and when it came to lip colors, I had so many options. But when I thought about the products that I have been using for years and were kind of consistent that I haven't really stopped using, Colourpop instantly came to mind because these Lippie sticks, wait, I have them wrong. But these Lippie sticks pretty much have been in my makeup drawers for pretty much ever since they launched, and I have loved them. They launched, I believe, when the brand launched. I think in like 2013, 2014, and when Colourpop did launch, they were so new, so fresh, so innovative. I believe at the time, people did not have access to really good quality, colorful makeup that was so well priced. It was very different from what it is right now, but when Colourpop did launch, they were so successful, very, very popular. The quality was so amazing, and these Lippie sticks were one of their best-selling products, and I believe that they still are. I certainly still love them. And I just wanted to show you some of my favorite shades that I love. I think these are all the shades that I own. I'm not sure actually since I have them like lying everywhere, but I have some shades I want to pick out and show you. So the first shade that I have is Skimpy. This is like one of their most nude colors, and it looks like that. You can barely see it, but it's right there. Then after that I have Tootsie. This, when it first came out, I was really, really interested in because it's like this gray color, but it has a hint of pink in it, which is really nice. That is Tootsie right there. Then I have Sure Thing. This is actually the color that I'm wearing today, and it was limited edition, which kind of sucked, but it was really, really beautiful. It looks like this. I think that they still might have it. I hope they do, but it's a really beautiful like nude pink color. It's pretty typical. If they don't have it anymore, you're pretty sure you'll be able to find a similar color, but it's just one that I always find myself wearing. Then I have Cami. This is from their Matte X line. This is like your typical really beautiful deep purpley toned lip color that is just perfect for the fall. It's a really beautiful shade. That's what it looks like right there. I have Love Life, and this is like your Fire Engine red color. And again, terrible swatch. I'm sorry about that, but this is what it looks like right here. It's just like this really beautiful color. And then I also have Chateau, which is like your dream burgundy red color. That's what it looks like. And whenever I wear it, I'm just so like, I feel just so vampy and so beautiful. I love the colors. They offer a whole bunch of varieties, and yeah, I mean, I've been wearing those for years. So, phew, that is pretty much the end of this video. I just feel like I wanted to film this video because I feel like since there's so many new launches launching every single day, and you can especially see that on social media and here on YouTube, I feel like it's so easy to forget some of the basic makeup items that have been around for ages that are still really relevant and still amazing. So I hope that this video was a good watch for you. So yeah, I mean, that is the end of this video. It's getting dark now, so I have to go. Time to do homework. But again, thank you so much for watching till the end. Thank you for your time, and hopefully I'll be seeing you again soon in another video. Bye guys.